Good morning, class 12 students. This is your class on determinants. Yesterday I took a test, and as you know, only 5 students could write the answers. At till 8 o'clock I had checked. Maybe more students would have written, but start writing all the answers properly, and make sure that whenever you get a test, you are writing the answers. Okay, you are solving the questions, and then you are giving your feedbacks on what problems you have got and what answers you could not get. So take this test seriously and follow the lectures properly. Try to understand. If you have not understood any topic, try to revise it properly so that you can do the test well. Okay. So remember, in yesterday's test we had certain questions, and what were they? Let us look at the answers first. First question, the answer was B. Second, A. Third, D. Fourth, C. Fifth, B. Sixth, D. Seventh, A. Eighth, answer was actually A. Nobody marked A. A was the answer. But actually in D I had written 111. It should have been 10 3 6. So I'll just tell you. But the main answer which was not matching with this was the first one itself. This is not matching. I will consider that how it is not matching. Okay. And then ninth was B and 10th was C. So we'll discuss 7, 8 and 10. Others were very easy. If you have not understood, you should revise your topic again, so that all the questions, those which were easy, you could have easily understood that. So let us understand question number 8 first here. In question number 8, this is a determinant 1 1 1 1 2 3 1 3 6. Now see, the A choice is wrong, because in A choice you are getting 2 2 2. So if you take 2 outside, it will get 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 3 and 1 3 6. But it will become 2 times the determinant. So this the value is delta. This is 2 delta. A choice is wrong and nobody marked A. B is correct. B is matching. And how is B matching? B is matching if we just add C1, that is column 1 to column 2. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 1 plus 3 is 4. And column 2 and column 3 are same. So B is correct. D is also correct if I write 10 3 6. Though I had written 1 1 1, that was wrong. But if I write 10 3 6, then it is correct. You can easily check. If you all the 3 rows, 1 plus 1 plus 1 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 6, 1 plus 3 plus 6 10, and then so you write C1 is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3, then D is correct. And how is C correct? C is correct if in B, that is B choice, because B is also correct. So if in B choice we add which one? C2 is equal to C2 plus C3. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 3 is 5, and 3 plus 6 is 9. So correct choices are B, C, and of course D if I write 10 3 6. Otherwise in 1 1 1 it is wrong, definitely. So I marked A and D as the correct choice because they were the wrong answers. Okay. So that was question number 8. Now question number 7 also we'll discuss here. There is a trick behind this question if you understand it. And the question is, this is the question, something like this. This is equal to 0. Find the value of x. So if I take if I take x is equal to 0, this matrix or this determinant determinant is a determinant of a skew symmetric matrix. How? 0 minus a minus b, a, right? A, this one is 0 minus c, this one is b minus c and 0. This is it. Yes. So we are getting what? X. This one is x minus a, x minus b. One of them is as x minus c. I think this one is x plus c. You can check. So this is plus c, something like this. Okay. So this is a skew symmetric matrix. So after putting x is equal to 0, you are getting skew symmetric matrix, and whose determinant is always 0. Therefore, x minus 0, that is x minus 0 is a factor, or x is equal to 0 is one of the answers. So that, or you can do it by any other method also, right? Now we come to the most important question of this worksheet was, or this test was, question number 10. Question number 10 goes like this: a minus x, c, b, c, b minus x, a, b, a, c minus x is equal to 0. And it is given that a plus b plus c is also 0. but you will consider this in the last. First, try to solve this. So if you add r1, and this is very very important, all of you should follow this, okay? So one more time answers: 1b, 2a, 3d, 4c, 5b, 6d, 7th a, 8th a and d, 9th b and 10th c, right? So you can just note down them. And now come to question number 10. Question number 10, there were two choices. Let's see how to solve this. If you add r1 row 1 to row 1 plus row 2 plus row 3, what you will get? You will get a plus b plus c minus x. A plus b plus c minus x. And here also same. Here also same. You can see a plus b plus c minus x, a plus b plus c minus x. So that is common. So b a c minus x. Okay. So this is common, so I am taking it out, and remaining I am keeping as it is. All of you should understand this step. A plus b plus c minus x, that has come out. So this is 1 1 1. C b minus x, a b a and c minus x. Now don't try to do this one and this one. Don't get zeros, because that complicates the answer. Instead, just try to solve this determinant itself. So I am keeping a plus b plus c minus x separately, one bracket. Now we'll solve this, expand it right now. 1 into b minus x c minus x, okay, minus a square. So 1 we can remove. Minus 1 multiplied by c into c minus x, and yes, just check is this c or not. So we consider this one, right? We are multiplying this, yes. C into c minus x minus ab, and plus 1 is this one. So a into c minus b minus x, okay? And when you solve this, what you will get? So let me write here. We should multiply this, okay? So b into c, b is c minus bx minus cx plus x square minus a square, and this I am changing the sign. So first let me multiply by minus, or change the sign here. This is plus and this is minus. Minus c square minus c plus cx and plus ab plus ac minus b square plus bx, something like this. So let's see what we are getting. These two gets cancelled, cx and cx gets cancelled, right? And what is left is minus a square minus b square minus c square bc plus ac plus one more should have been there, ab, and plus x square. So I am writing it on the top here, this one. So what will become bc plus ac plus ab minus a square plus c square plus b square plus x square is equal to 0, right? Now if a plus b plus c is 0, this is given to us, we will use this here. If a plus b plus c is 0, then we know that this is equal, the squaring this, you will get a square plus b square plus c square is equal to, or you can say plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ca. I am taking it that side, so minus 2ab plus bc plus ca. So the value of this here is equal to minus 2 this. So we can now divide it minus 2 here, and we get the value of. So this is the value of ab plus bc plus ca. This value will substitute here. So what we will get? This is minus a square plus b square plus c square upon 2 minus a square plus b square plus c square plus x square is equal to 0. Both these negative, half plus 1 is 3 by 2. I can take it that side. X square is equal to 3 by 2. A square plus B square plus C square. Now take the square root and you will get x is equal to plus minus root of 3 by 2 a square plus b square plus c square. That is one of the answer. And see, this is the another bracket. So if I put this equal to 0, you will get x is equal to a plus b plus c. But a plus b plus c is also 0. X is equal to 0. So this is the third, I think, choice number C for the answer. So that was the answer. These were the answers for the test. So the next test, to take it seriously, and because these marks can be added also, and they will be considered if you are doing them seriously. But if you are not doing them seriously, then it is of no use all this. So you have to make the proper use of all these lectures, tests, and because this is the best way to study at home, right? Now we'll come to the next chapter, which is inverse of a matrix. So I'll just give you the introduction part, and then we can do it in the next class also. So the chapter number 5 we are starting here. Do give me suggestion if you want more this kind of test, right? Let's see. I'll give you one or two more tests on determinants and matrix again. So we are starting inverse of a matrix, chapter number 5. Chapter number 5, inverse of a matrix and linear equations. Okay, inverse of a matrix. Now this is a very important topic, because first of all let us understand what is singular matrix and what is non-singular matrix. A matrix is called singular if its determinant is 0. So now we are considering both determinant and matrix at the same time. So if you take a matrix and its determinant is 0, then it is singular. Non-singular if its determinant is not equal to 0. So now we are more interested in non-singular matrix, because singular matrix cannot give us inverse. So there are certain theorems, right? One theorem is A into adjoint A, and this is a very important one. A into adjoint A, first theorem. Okay, you can consider this as first theorem. A into adjoint A is equal to determinant of A into I, and this we can see for the third order, and then for any order this is true, for second order, third order, fourth, or any order. This property, that is A into adjoint A, is equal to determinant A into I, and also equal to adjoint A into A. So both of these properties. So first let us see A into adjoint A. So before that I will have to define what is adjoint of a matrix. So adjoint of a matrix, okay, is transpose of the matrix of cofactors. Okay, transpose of matrix of cofactors. So suppose we have a matrix A. Consider a square matrix of order 3, A1, okay, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, right? A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3, okay? And the other one is, let's write the cofactors. What are the cofactors? So if you make a cofactors, I can, you know how you find the cofactors. First you find the minors and then you find the cofactors, right? So cofactor, the matrix of cofactors will be like this. Cofactors A. This is, suppose I write A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. So the matrix of their this adjoint is equal to what? Adjoint is the transpose of cofactors. 1. Okay. So what is the transpose? A1 B1 C1, A2 B2 C2, and A3 B3 C3. This matrix adjoint of A is cofactor of A transpose. This is called adjoint of A, and adjoint of A is very important because this you will use in finding the inverse of a matrix. Okay, so we are considering this property A into adjoint A. If you multiply these two matrices, you will get determinant of A into I. This is the property. And how it is useful? See, this is useful like this. If we have A1 B1 C1, A2 B2 C2, A3 B3 C3, and adjoint A, we will write like this: capital A1, which are the cofactors A1 B1 C1, A2 B2 C2, A3 B3 C3. Now, if you multiply the two matrices, this row and column, first row and first column are multiplied, you will get A1 into A1, B1 into B1, C1 into C1. This is what? Delta. Determinant. If you multiply to this, we have already said that this is 0. Multiply to this, 0. Multiply to this, 0. Multiply the second one, delta. Multiply third one, 0, 0, 0, delta. Delta is determinant of A. Now you can take it 3 times, right? And what you will get? So this is basically nothing but we can write this as delta multiplied by the matrix I, because in I is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. So we can just multiply every term by delta, and this is what you get. So we have just proved that A into adjoint A is determinant A into I, right? Simple property, yes or no? So this is the first property you should understand. And now second theorem I am telling you, a square matrix is invertible if A is non-singular. Okay, a square matrix is invertible. What is the theorem? A square matrix is invertible. Invertible means it has an inverse. If and only if can be written as I double F. If and only if its determinant is not equal to 0, then only we can make the inverse. That is, it is non-singular. If it is singular, we cannot get the inverse. So see how will you use if and only if? Suppose let us assume that matrix is invertible. So whenever a matrix is invertible, you have to understand one thing: A into B is equal to I, and also B into A is equal to I, where I is the identity matrix. So whenever a matrix is invertible, then A into B is I and B into A is also I. So if the matrix, let us assume that matrix is invertible. So we are writing A into B is equal to I. Take determinant on both sides, you get determinant of AB is equal to determinant of I. Remember, determinant of I is always 1. So this is 1. This can be given to both. Distribute determinant. A bit like modulus, but don't get confused. They are sometimes can be different also, but right now we can use like a modulus. Determinant A, determinant B is equal to 1. These are two real numbers, lambda and mu. Their product is 1, so none of them can be 0. So neither A is 0. So we have just proved that determinant of A is not equal to 0, because if it is 0, the answer should be 0. But we are getting the answer as 1. So the answer is 1. How can this be 0? Therefore, determinant A is not equal to 0. So we have proved the first part. If AB is equal to I is equal to BA, determinant A is not equal to 0. The second part is most important here. That is in converse of the theorem. I double F means if and only if. So one way and then other way. A implies B, B implies A. This is A implies B. Now we do B implies A. So that is you will do like this. If let us assume that determinant A is not equal to 0. Now we will use the previous property. A into adjoint A is equal to determinant A into I. Okay. Now if I take this here and divide by determinant A, because determinant A is a real number and it is not equal to 0, and see, if it is 0 then we cannot divide by 0, but if it is not 0 we can divide by 0, not non-zero quantity. Divide by determinant A, you will get A into adjoint A. Now somebody must have asked, how is determinant A different from modulus? Many ways. One way is the value of determinant A can be negative, but modulus A cannot be negative in wherever you are studying modulus function. So this is A into adjoint A upon determinant A is I. Now consider this to be another matrix, adjoint A upon determinant A. So consider adjoint A is equal to another matrix B. So we have just proved that A into B is equal to I. Similarly, we can prove that B into A is also I. So this B must be inverse of A. B is equal to A inverse. So we have just proved that A inverse is equal to adjoint A upon determinant A. So we have just got the formula for A, inverse of A also, and we have proved that A inverse will exist if determinant A is not equal to 0, that is non-singular matrix. And we have just got the formula for A inverse, adjoint A upon determinant A. So I'll give you more solved examples in the next video, and let's see if I can make more tests for you. So get ready for the test on determinant, one more test on determinant maybe, and try to revise this theorem, and we'll consider some more theorems in the next class. See you in the next class.